As your face is in a cloud of Kool-Aid, there's a sense of being in a different world. Maybe in all of our lives, there are moments where anything sort of feels possible.
The man with his face in the Kool-Aid is Дэвид Эдвардс. He's a professor at Harvard University, but probably better known as an inventor. Most of his inventions are a new twist on how we take in nutrition. For instance, this cloud comes from a creation of his called the waff.
So what is a waff? The waff is it is a carafe. I pour in my favorite liquid, and then it begins to create a cloud of, in this case, scotch. Sip it into my mouth. There's actually a really significant aromatic experience.
But the waff is hardly David's only creation.
We have what's called the arrow. It's breathable nutrition. I do a little puff, and I have a burst of energy or immunity or whatever the particular nutrition is. The O-Phone Duo. It's a little bit like a printer of aroma. We have a apricot aroma, which I love.
With his whimsical food creations and that Gene Wilder hair, it's hard not to compare David to Willy Wonka. But we don't live in a world of pure imagination, and in reality, David's had trouble marketing his ideas on a large scale.
It's very hard to bring those innovations immediately into a mass market environment. So this led me to the notion that we need an environment, a fully immersive environment, what I think of as kind of an Apple store of nutrition, where one can enter and immediately believe that one's in the future.
This is his solution, Cafe Art Science, a new restaurant that he's opened up in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The cafe serves traditional food, but more importantly, it functions as a showcase for David's inventions.
Over the last 30 years, our world has become very synthetic. So there is an ambition of the cafe to be a complete immersive environment for the senses.
One of his more popular creations are these little balls of ice cream. They're encased in an edible packaging David invented called Wikifoods.
In one case, we have a coffee. This is an espresso skin around a vanilla ice cream. Actually, it's a chocolate ice cream. I didn't know that, but you can see here. It's actually very good. I began to think about how one might encapsulate foods and beverages like nature encapsulates fruit. You can't take the membrane off of a cell and still have a cell, and so you can't take my skin off of me and still have me, really. And so why can you take a package off of a bar of chocolate and have a bar of chocolate? It's proposing a fundamental change in how we make food, how we distribute food and consume food.
David partnered with Stonyfield to sell Wiki-encapsulated frozen yogurt, but retailers were hesitant to sell frozen foods without packaging. So the solution was to encase them in a biodegradable wrapping, but this kind of defeated the purpose of using the Wiki cells in the first place.
I've had many cases where we've had revolutionary way of doing things differently that would be better for people, better for the environment, but just the inertia of the system kills the idea.
Many of these inventions probably have trouble catching on because they just seem like novelties. But David believes that the best way to start his food revolution is to keep the conversation fun.
Changing the world is serious business, actually. It can be sort of frightening to face the fact that the world is not going to be tomorrow what it is today. And so there needs to be, I believe, an environment just opening up people's minds to the joy of discovering tomorrow, even if we don't quite know what that tomorrow will be.